A Battle Built here with another video, getting some more Season 11 Go Battle League battles, these taking place in the Great League meta. Today we have a submission from a fellow PvPer and a homie of mine by the name of Brute. He was able to get his hands on one of the 3 elusive Galarian birds, this one specifically being Galarian Articuno. And today we're going to see how well it can perform in some open Great League battles. He gave us a collection of 10, and Galarian Articuno is essentially attack-weighted Lugia, with its typing of Psychic and Flying. It also has a moveset that is not anything like Lugia's, but a fast move of Psycho Cut, and then charge moves of Ancient Power and Brave Bird. Brute was able to put this Pokemon together on a team comp consisting of Scrafty and Lickitung, so let's see how well it performs. If you're excited for this content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump right into these battles. In the first matchup, we have the Articuno against Kanto Ninetales. This would typically be a negative matchup for an Articuno if it was Kanto because of Fire versus Ice, but because it's Galarian and has that Psychic Flying typing, it's able to play out a neutral lead, and the opponent decides to swap out and swap into their Shadow Wall Ring. He's going to have to shield the next Icicle Spear that the opponent's Shadow Wall Ring is about to get to, and once that happens, he will be able to counter down the Wall Ring and keep switch, which is huge, because at least Galarian Articuno, as much as it may not have an amazing matchup against Kanto Ninetales, it does have the option of a super effective rock move in the form of Ancient Power. Unfortunately, seasons and seasons and seasons ago, when Giratina reigned supreme in Ultra League, Ancient Power got nerfed. Now imagine a Galarian Articuno without a nerfed Ancient Power. Now that would be something, but we would love to see this Ancient Power still hit for a lot of damage here, and potentially get that 10% 2-stage buff to the attack and defense on the opponent. It does enough damage there. The opponent's last mon is a Sableye, his last mon is a Lickitung, and Galarian Articuno did its job. Scrafty kind of carried heavy, Lickitung matched up well against the Sableye. Everybody did their part. Turns out to be a solid dub in the first match. Getting to this next match, he has the Articuno on a Lickitung lead. He has to swap out because he's going to take super effective damage from the Ghost-type Licks coming from the Lickitung, and he safe swaps into his own Lickitung, so now they're going to be throwing body slams back and forth. The opponent is staying in this matchup, so I'm wondering what their backline could possibly be. Maybe it's some sort of normal double Ghost, because Ghost types have been running rampant all over the Great League meta. Turns out it ends up being a Psychic type also, but it's a meta champ. Psychic fighting type. It's coming in, going to be throwing plenty of pups here. It's going to ramp up huge. It's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be the end of the world though, because of the fact that Galarian Articuno has that Psychic Flying typing, and as much as its CP is hitting a whopping 1467, it will double resist all those moves. It just has to worry about Ice Punch being super effective. Ends up being a resisted Psychic, but it was a boosted Psychic, so it did quite a bit of damage. Duh, obviously it's not Ice Punch. Opponent already showed us they had Pup, and nobody in their right mind is running Pup Ice Punch in some open Great League battles. He decides to bait the Brave Bird, throws the Ancient Power. Opponent doesn't call. They end up surviving that Ancient Power, but he's able to Psycho Cut down, tried to swap in the Scrafty, but the Lick registered before he was able to swap out and could not bank that move. Super unfortunate. Brings in the Scrafty. Opponent's last mon is a Charm Ninetales, and that's just GG. You hate to see it, a little bit of RPS action. Getting into this next match, we have Galarian Articuno on a Talonflame lead, and this is actually a surprisingly positive situation because Galarian Articuno has access to Ancient Power, and again, not an amazing move, but it's double super effective and practically boomed the Talonflame there. The opponent throws a Flame Charge, builds up to the 3 Incinerates needed. That could have been a Brave Bird, so Brute decided to shield there. He's getting off his second Ancient Power here, takes out the Talonflame, boosts! He's got the attack and defense boost. He's going for the Brave Bird. It's resisted, but it's stab and it's boosted. How much is it going to do to a Reggie? That's a whopping amount of damage. God damn, bro. That did about 3/4 of its health. The Psycho Cuts are adding up. You gotta love a boosted double resisted move. He's committing to the Articuno because it's boosted. Going for another Ancient Power. Would this do enough damage? It threatens the shield. He's getting off another charge move here. It's going to be another Ancient Power. Is this boosted Ancient Power going to do enough? Oh my lord, that was insanely close. I highly appreciate Brute committing to this matchup, even though he could have easily brought in his Scrafty and probably farmed down. The opponent's last mon happens to be a Swampert. They have a dead Reggie in the back. Swampert does have a shield advantage, but the Scrafty and the Lickitung combo is just going to be too thick, and it's going to apply too much pressure to the Shadow Swampert's lower defense, because of the fact that it's a Shadow versus regular, and even regular Swampert wouldn't have been super ideal here just because Scrafty and Lickitung will outbulk either or, despite how spammy it can be. He comes in with this Lickitung here. Opponent's going for one last charge move. He's going to probably get off a body slam right after. And then the Registeel, oh, he commits to the lick down. The opponent decides to quick, knowing the committed lick down. Lickitung has a body slam before Reggie could even get off the move. And it's GG. Galarian Articuno popped off, clinching that dub in the lead scenario. You love to see it. We have a negative lead with Galarian Articuno on Galarian Stunfisk here. Galarian on Galarian action, right? Yeah, that's crazy to me. I feel like Galarian Stunfisk has been around for so long, you forget it's a Galarmon. I almost feel like I'm wrong saying it. Anyhow, he swaps out, was able to catch that Rock Slide, now has a Lickitung on Altaria matchup. Ideally would love to flip switch here, but is not committing the shield. Gonna get off another body slam. This is not gonna do enough damage, but it's gonna put it at a lower health. Oh, it actually gets a shield. That's surprising. Gonna get Dragon Breath down by the Altaria. Probably gonna come with the Articuno. Doesn't want to come with the Scrafty just because you're gonna have to worry about all that the potential Sky Attack damage gonna come through. Has that energy built up from before. Throws the Ancient Power. Takes out the Altaria's remaining health. Has shield advantage. Does not have switch. Galarian Stunfisk should have less health though, so he's staying in here trying to catch another Rock Slide. That would have been insane if he was able to pull off two. The opponent's last mon is a Mandibuzz, but he does have a shield advantage. Can this Scrafty ramp up its attack enough? Can it spam enough pups, land enough counter damage to essentially sweep the back line and carry the weight of the Galarian Articuno just kind of getting hard countered in the lead scenario here? He's going for another pup. Gets the Mandibuzz in the yellow. Still has that shield advantage. Nobody has committed a shield. He's going to have to commit a shield at some point. Decides to do it there on the aerial ace from the opponent. Getting off another pup. Should either potentially get a shield or then just able to counter down after. He tries to catch a move. Doesn't. But because Galarian Articuno left with an Ancient Power, he swaps in, throws, sneaks up on the Mandibuzz with the Ancient Power, gets down, double boosts again to the attack and defense, which means the Articuno will survive the Rock Slide, no problem. Builds all the way up to a Brave Bird with a huge nuke. Oh my lord. The resisted Brave Bird damage and Articuno with the Psycho Cut farm down. What is actually happening? Now you know why seasons and seasons and seasons ago Giratina had to get nerfed when Ancient Power was an actual decent move and also had the potential to double buff to attack and defense, because it's insane. It's not even a good move now, and it's still popping off for Galarian Articuno in some of these scenarios. You love to see it. Builds up to almost double Brave Bird. Throws the first one. Boom! The Medi couldn't see it coming. Did anybody see a Medicham on the screen? Because I'm pretty sure that Articuno made it disappear. The opponent comes in with a Reggie. He then safe swaps into his Lickitung. Not exactly a great matchup, but I guess wanted to potentially force them to swap out so that he could line up the Scrafty with the Reggie late game. Gonna spam as many body slams as possible, but because Lickitung got Zap Cannon, because it was gonna take two charge moves from the Reggie no matter whether it went for Focus Blast or Zap Cannon, that next body slam does less damage. Focus Blast comes through, takes out the Lickitung, probably comes in Scrafty here, tries to start ramping up the pups, is at a shield disadvantage. It's gonna all come down to the last mon. The last mon. There's another Mandibuzz, but we're in the reverse shielding scenario. We have one shield versus their two shields. Will it be able to ramp up enough? Will the Scrafty hold on? Or can Articuno potentially clutch it with a Brave Bird after shields go down? Hopefully, but the problem is Scrafty even going to be able to get shields with its pups? Mandibuzz gets off another aerial ace there. He's building up to his second pup. Gonna land it on the Mandibuzz, and I guess we're gonna find out when he's going to potentially be able to get some shields. Keeps on building all the way up to the foul play. Throwing another pup here, ramping the attack, another stage. Finally gets a shield, slides in with the Galarian Articuno again, sneaks the Ancient Power onto the Mandibuzz, gets the opponent's last shield. No buff here, but does have a shield. Does he want to protect his Articuno from the super effective foul play because of Articuno's psychic typing? He does. The opponent swaps in there Reggie. He's over farming. He knows Reggie has no energy. He's going for the Brave Bird. Will this be enough, and will he then be able to get off the Ancient Power? Boom! Ancient Power coming through onto the Mandibuzz. Will this take out its remaining health? It does. Oh my, and then boosts just for a little bit of taunting action. Holy Christ. Articuno kind of putting in some work. Listen, I know Ancient Power being a good move ruined Giratina Ultra League. Is like a third time I'm mentioning it, but I would love if it could like get rebuffed, or if Galarian Articuno can maybe have another move similar to Ancient Power that, like, you know, Giratina doesn't have access to, because I feel like it would be a legitimate mainstay if that were the case, because right now it's popping off. I'm loving the combination of the Cycle Cut for the super fast energy generation for Galarian Articuno as its fast move, and then the combo of spamming Brave Birds. Who would have thought that'd ever be an option? So I'm loving that Articuno's individuality in that sense at the very least, because it's been performing quite well. And then the occasional boost, or really the 3 boosts that have happened this set with the Ancient Power, has been ridiculous. So now the opponent had a good lead against Brute here because of the Sneasler dealing super effective Shadow Claws to his Galarian Articuno being the Psychic type, but he was able to essentially take Switch. He has Switch, has Shield advantage, now has Scrafty against their Scrafty, letting the first pup come through. Probably going to want to save the shields for the next 2 potential pups, or at least 1 pup, and then the Sneasler does have access to close combat. Can't forget that, but they're countering away at each other. Do you shield this to sneak the counters through, or do you let Galarian Articuno try and come through and clutch this? Because it will double resist all the counters, just has to worry about the foul plays, throws an Ancient Power, so he doesn't even have to worry about using a shield. Does this get the Scrafty's last shield? It does not. The Sneasler comes back in. He's dealing double super effective Cycle Cut damage. That's also another thing that has to be considered there. He ends up shielding and is able to farm down the Sneasler for the dub. Oh wait, not double super effective. It's only single. No, it is double super effective. Psychic against Fighting and Poison. I'm mixing up all my typings. I'm like Flying move, but Psychic move, Flying typing, Psychic typing. Mixing it all up there. Regardless, I was right the first time. So I wonder if he could have potentially stayed in there, and because of the double super effective Cycle Cut's adding up, he could have went straight Ancient Power. That's an interesting thought, but the way he played it out ended up being perfectly regardless, because again, Articuno still had to worry about the super effective Shadow Claws coming from the Sneasler. Getting to this next matchup, did not have a great lead, now has a bad swap with Registeel on the Lickitung, has to eat a Focus Blast, and this is what I was talking about in the last matchup, where the opponent threw the Zap Cannon and then Focus Blasted. Even though these Licks and Body Slams aren't doing much to the Reggie, it's taking 2 charge moves from the Registeel to take out the Lickitung regardless. The opponent then actually waits out the switch timer and then swaps out into their Walrein and switch locks himself after winning lead and swap. Interesting play here. We'll see if it works for the opponent. Either way, Brute builds up to the foul play, not expecting the opponent to shield, takes out the Walrein's remaining health, does not want them to get to another charge move. Scrafty is going to obliterate the Registeel, even though it's going to get off a move here. Probably shielded. I forgot what the lead was. The lead was a Trevenant, right? Yes, decides he wants to shield it for that exact reasoning. Not in the best spot, though, because the Trevenant does have the shield advantage and is going to be able to spam. He gets off a foul play. This will get one of the Trev's 2 shields. Is the Articuno going to be able to clutch this? He unfortunately gets farmed down, comes in with the Lickitung, though, and at least forces the Trevenant's energy, even though the Trevenant really doesn't have to worry about Lickitung's charge moves and could have just, Shadow Clawed all the way down. But hey, we take those. It gives Articuno a fighting chance to win out this matchup. Will Articuno be able to pull through? The opponent's getting off their first charge move. Are they at 2 Seed Bombs? At Articuno's remaining health, Seed Bomb will take it out, and unfortunately, the Trevenant is at the 2nd Seed Bomb and is going to take out the Articuno to win that match. GG's to the opponent. Still, though, really loving the way this entire team is playing. Great work on Brute's end, and the Galarian Articuno is doing surprisingly well. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm hoping I'll be able to get a hold of my own Galarian Articuno. All I got myself was a Galarian Zapdos at like 3,000 CP with terrible IVs that I literally couldn't do anything with. The opponent that Brute is facing in this next match makes a fantastic catch of the Brave Bird on their Altaria instead of potentially getting one shot on their Meganium. But because the Altaria is so low, Brute's able to bring in his Lickitung and lick it all the way down. The Meganium comes back in, going to throw a charge move, should be the Frenzy Plant. Probably takes out the Lickitung's remaining health. Brute wants to get off these charge moves. Gonna go for back-to-back body slams. Lands the first one. Gonna go for the second one soon. Will he be able to get off a third one before the Meganium gets to another Frenzy Plant? We shall see. The opponents decide not to shield, knowing that the Meganium is not going to have a great matchup against the Articuno regardless because of its flying typing. Another Frenzy Plant comes through. Comes with the Articuno to try and farm down, and has an amazing matchup in the back line with Scrafty on Bastion on there. And the opponent decides to top left. You love to see it. Great. great alignment. Articuno did its job. Everybody did their job. And then we had Scrafty against Wallface, and you can never complain about that situation. Getting to the next matchup, a kind of negative lead, or pretty negative lead, because of Trevenant constantly dealing Ghost super effective, whereas Articuno, in order to deal its flying damage to Trevenant, has to build all the way up to a Brave Bird. So Brute swaps out, has Lickitung on Azu, and as long as he lands his Power Whips, there should be a positive matchup for him, and he lands the first one. Is he going to be able to flip switch here? Almost builds up to a Power Whip, gets to the Body Slam. Will the opponent respect it and shield? They still have not decided to respect it and shield. Brute is not going to shield the charge move coming through from the Azu. Ends up being a play rough. Can he get to another Body Slam in time or commit to the lick down? Is able to commit to the lick down. The Trevenant comes in. Gonna throw the single resisted Power Whip here. And then get Shadow Claw down. Does have the Scrafty to line up against a Trevenant, so that's always a positive. The Trevenant does have energy, though, so this isn't like the most amazing matchup in the world. It's a weird one because Trev double resists all the fighting damage from Scrafty, whereas Scrafty single resists all the ghost damage, has to worry about Seed Bomb, but then Trev has to worry about the super effective dark damage from Foul Play. He gets off his first Foul Play there, gets the opponent's first shield. Is he going to respect any of this? Looks like he's... Oh, no, he decides to shield the Seed Bomb. He does respect it. Hopefully, is going to try... Oh, no. I was going to say he was going to try to get the opponent's last two shields for Articuno to pop off. The opponent is able to swap and catch a pup on their Alolan Ninetales. Gonna go for an Ancient Power here. Gonna be super effective. Could the 10% boost come in and clutch it for Brute? Unfortunately, it does not come in. Going for a second super effective Ancient Power. This is not going to do enough damage to the Alolan Ninetales. Gets the boost on the second one. What a tease. If he gets on the first one, maybe has a chance of winning. Probably not, just based on the fact that the Trevenant still had some health. Would have farmed down the Articuno and then taken out the Scrafty. But you never know. You never know. Anything's possible. Getting to this next matchup, we have Articuno on Galarian Sunfisk. Brute tries to play out the smart way and catch out the Rock Slide like he did earlier. Does not work. The opponent comes in with a Medicham here. And it's got Pop. That's not ideal for Lickitung. As much as Lickitung plays this matchup and its matchup against Defenseoxys, very close, surprisingly close, because they're both counter users, and Lickiting's a normal type. With Medi having Punch, Power Up Punch, it should be a much easier win for the Medicham. Honestly, though, he got shield advantage, and I guess it really wasn't that much easier of a win for Medicham, because of the fact that if the opponent did not shield that Body Slam, he would have essentially one switch even with Pup. So I guess I take a lot of that back. Either way, shields the Psychic there. Gonna commit to the Psycho Cut down. Oh no, he throws the Ancient Power here. Does not want the opponent to get off a booster resisted Psychic. Does take some energy, unfortunately, though. And the Galarian Stunfisk does have a Rock Slide. He's able to get off the Brave Bird here. Is he able to swap out? He's not. Does he commit? He commits to the Articuno for the content, even if it's not necessarily the right play, just because of the pure fact that he has a Scrafty and alignment here, which is super unfortunate. Lost lead, lost swap. Now we have Tropius with Air Slash lined up against a Scrafty. Super unideal matchup here, especially because it's going to be able to overfarm a bunch, then take out the Scrafty, and then throw some damage at the Galarian Articuno. Brute's able to get off 2 foul plays at least and kind of keep it close, but that Galarian Sunfisk in the back still has a Rock Slide banked. So he would have to essentially, the opponent Leaf Bladed and was still able to farm down. I was going to say, Brute's going to have to Cycle Cut down, build up to 2 Brave Birds. I feel like that Galarian Sunfisk just has way too much health. He was going to need 2 Brave Birds. This match, unfortunately, was quite over for a bit now, but still really only lost that last one based on alignment, and Galarian Articuno thoroughly impressed me throughout these battles. I can't wait to try one of those. I can't wait to get myself a Moltres. I can't wait to get myself a goddamn Zapdos, another one, hopefully in CP ranges when I'm able to achieve that day of having all 3 birds, hopefully in the same league. You're going to see some content from my own personal battles. Probably won't go well, but I would love to run the 3 of them as a theme team. Either way, I was impressed by this Galarian Articuno. Brute, thank you so much for the submission. I genuinely enjoyed watching these battles. For those of y'all watching, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the Mons. Let me know how your daily incenses have been going. How many have you used? How many birds have you seen? I've essentially only seen the 1. And also, if you have Galarian Moltres or Galarian Zapdos, submission link is in the description of this video. I would love to shoutcast your battles, especially on these 3 specific mods. But again, I'm open to a lot of battles. Great League's back. Ultra League's coming up soon. So please, send me your battles. Spice, meta, whatever it is. Thank you so much. Either way, I already said everything I need to say. My outros, I'm really great at them. I'll see you all in the next video.